skillful, the more it becomes easy to manipulate people and situations for your own needs. Here it is not possible. Is that getting clearer? Yeah. It is not possible. The way Danza Duende is made, it is not going to be possible. If somebody one day comes and says, now Danza Duende is that you have to do this and then you have to do that, and then it will become a pyramid, yes? And then people have to work for other people. But now it's not possible. If there's a real understanding of the work, of what is level 1, what is level 2, it's not possible. Like when you're teaching level 1, you have to be at the service of your students. You cannot be the opposite. You cannot teach level 1 and not being at the service. Yeah? Because Danza Duende eats your ego. It kills your ego somehow. It makes you every time disappointed. So do you understand how much it's difficult to direct a level 1? I think who did it understands now, like Victoria and Alexandra. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yes? But in the same time it's beautiful, because it teaches you. And you know it's teaching you, so it's not the kind of situation that you can come, oh, I'm going to teach level 1, and then, everybody comes and you sit and you talk and you say so nice things, and then everybody says you're such a great person. It's not like that. This level 1 is like you do like this, you open, and then they just have to get inside, and then you do whatever you can. And that is what's very interesting for whoever does everything in Danza Duende and then becomes really, how would I say, transmission of the creation of situations. So it's a kind of revolution. It's not. I'm not trying to do a political talk, but revolution in the sense that something is not. It's a challenge, no? Something is not working the way things should work, and usually what we should do, or I should do, first is to create a label with copyright, and then people should have time to do things, and then because they do things properly they would pay, and because they would pay I would have a lot of money, because I would have a lot of money I would pay people, because I would pay people they would like it, and then everybody would be here on time and go away on time because they would feel obliged to do it. Because we are used to obey to a law, and the law tells you that you should do something, otherwise you're doing wrong. And that is our usual motivation. We're not used to do something because we're free and we would like to do it. You understand what I mean? That we could just think, wow, there's a meeting, the first one since 11 years. I spent so much time and money and blood doing this project, and this is the first time there's a meeting. Maybe I could come and go without nobody obliging me to do it. Usually people, they even pay. In Aikido, for example, they pay very expensive to have the dan. They pay 1,000 euros to have first dan, second dan. They have to obey to a lot of laws, and they have to go to Japan, and they do it. Yeah? They do it because it is the law, no? It's established. And it's nice, it's comfortable. Here it's not comfortable, but nobody is going to tell you, you should not. Oh, you come, you don't come, you don't come. No? You understand? And then for people who organize, such a frustration, no? No? Yeah? But it's
who is coming?
Who is coming? But this is the challenge, is that, and there's another challenge I wanted to talk about. So the challenge that we could try to work on this this possibility through art, through individuation, thanks to art, and working on the fact of how frictions between us happens and how these frictions becomes the tools of wisdom, how thanks to the frictions we understand about ourselves and about others. Of course, it doesn't mean that we have to create situations that are insupportable, no? Of course not. But you can't help it. When we work together with people, we do have problems, no? Everybody does. No? but to slowly see, is it possible that we can create a situation of collaboration that is not based on business about making money, but is based on knowledge about being human together and making things happen together, not always the same, not always all the time, but punctuality, like Serpa, yes? And it's based on freedom, on paradox, chaos, order, paradox, leadership, freedom, individual, community, you see? Inside, outside, the inner voice, the outer voice, the inner body, the outer body. It's based on who I am on my own alone, who I am when I work with others. But what's happening is that nowadays, and this is what I wanted really to talk about, because we are living with machines, we're full of machines everywhere, and everything is based on machines. Time is becoming very, very quick. Everything is becoming very quick because the machines are much quicker. No? Now if you want an information, you send it, it's 1 second. It's very quick. So we have a lot of information to digest and a lot of changes going on. And this is something that is happening in Dansadou in the community, that there is exhaustion of speed. Yes? An exhaustion of information, exhaustion of I think it's happening to everybody actually, but in Dansadou in the community it's very
evident as well. Evident.
Right, you can feel it. And so I think the challenge that I feel now is how could each one of us find the way to take time without losing time. You take your time, but you're not losing time. Because sometimes, taking time would be, I do this, and then you lose time, and then you're not taking time. But if you take time and not losing time, actually everything we do is becoming successful. It works. I can tell you that because it's happening a lot of times for me. And the more I become patient and the more I slow down my inner pace, the more I'm doing things. You understand? I'm doing a lot of things. And I'm doing all these a lot of things because I take my time, but I'm not losing time. Yes? So this is I'm almost coming. Yeah. So the other thing I needed to tell you on this occasion, as far as I am concerned, is that I want to do something that it would be similar in a new way, in a Dansadou way, to the 3 years retreat. So I'm not going to leave 3 years, but I want to create a 3 years retreat for me with appearances or things I would do sometimes, but I would not be so much available as I has been for 11 years. I have been for 11 years almost available day and night all the time. A lot of you know that, no? Because a lot of people had personal relationship with me. Do you imagine this personal relationship we had? You can multiply them for 100 because there's at least 100 people writing to me in this way. You do. You understand? Like big emails, big telephones, big Skypes. And I'm not complaining about that because I created the situation, I wanted to do that, but now I really need a time that I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to go after people on the internet connection. I'm not going to try to create situations as I did a lot of times, or in Brussels, or now we're going to have like everything we did with Michel Haji, everything we're going to do when the 6 are going to come to Belgium, 6 dancers are coming to Belgium, we're going to train with Michel Haji, and then they're going to give a workshop. And all this thing is going to happen thanks to the Belgium community, but actually I did it, you understand? And I did it because I know these 6 people don't have enough money to do that. But I also know that in Belgium it would be nice to have Gypsy Duende more, you know. So it's trying to find how I can create a situation that is good for many people of this community. Doesn't mean I have to do that all the time, but sometimes I'm doing that. And the problem lately is that I feel that, maybe it's my problem, but I feel if I don't do that anymore, everything is going to just, you know? And then I have like the mothers with the children, you know? This, you know? You know, the mother or the father, they see their child is going to do something that maybe they think it's not good, but you have to let them do. I'm not saying people are my children, you're not my children, but I have this instinct, no? That I see something is not going to work, and then I, you know, maybe I'm wrong, but usually when I try to make it work, it usually works. Yes? And very often when I'm not going somewhere anymore, it just disappears. Slowly, there's nothing going on. It's like, so now is a challenge, is it that the people that did the Danza Duende, the whole thing, can do something, or want to do something, or wish to do something so that it goes on, even if Yuma is not doing the, how you say in English, the pastor, you know, like...
The shepherd.
Shepherd, you know, because sometimes I feel I'm doing the shepherd, and then the coach, and then the psychologue, and then the mother, and then the teacher, and then the guru, and then... And of course, it's my own tendency.
And all of this you created. It's incredible.
What is it?
I said that all this is created by you also.
Yes, of course, I do it my own. Of course, I do. But on another hand, thanks to that, all these things happened. You know, and I'm happy I did it. I am very proud of having done all this. But now it's my moment to do another way for a few times, at least 3 years. You know, minimum 3 years. And so, my proposal, I will tell you these days, you know, slowly, but my proposal is, I'm not going to explain tonight, but is to create a university that would be only twice a year as far as I'm concerned, to change a few things about levels, to create online some tools that can be, you know, like movies and audio that can be used, things like that. And that after Serpa, we take 9 months of rest.
Rest?
Nothing happens unless somebody really wants to make something happen.
You mean no level,
Nothing.
no big workshop?
Nothing.
Just regular class?
Nothing. 9 months after Serpa. So that we can see, is it that somebody really wants to make something happen, or is it that nobody wants to make anything happen? You understand?
Why 9? It's like
The babies, you know. It's just an idea, because, you know, it's just like Serpa is, maybe you're a good question. You know, Serpa, then August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, spring. May. But it's maybe because the university, I was thinking of doing it on summertime. So if the university would happen after these 9 months of sleep, the university would start on summertime after, so you need May to start it, make it work, you know. You understand what I mean?
yes.
So actually it's a good question, I didn't think, but it's my unconscious. And 9 months is a good time to have an experience of digestion. After 9 months you digest better something, you understand? If you take 9 months, for example, in retreat, after 9 months it's like something new happens. You're like, so that's it, I think, more or less. Ah yes, then there was a little thing also I wanted to say, I forgot, is about amalgam. There's another thing I think it's nice we think about. Amalgam in English, I don't know. Who knows? Amalgam. You know, it's that at one point we could, I don't think it's the case of everybody, but of some of us it happens. We think anything that helps us personally could become dansadwendi. And that is not the case. So we make amalgam, you know? Oh, I did such a nice therapy, and then I did such a nice workshop, and then I did such a nice uterus blessing, and then such a nice, and then dansadwendi just becomes a place that you put whatever is nice all together, n'importe comment, and that is not the case. Dansadwendi is about yourself. Who are you? So if you did a nice therapy somewhere, that's very nice, but the result of what it did to you is what you use in dansadwendi. It's not that you have to take all the tools and you put everything there. Because it is very important, in my point of view, that the project is a non-conceptual project. It's very important that it's not conceptual. You're just creating concepts to create situations, but actually dansadwendi is only situations. Yes? Situations of suffering, situations of joy, situations of loneliness, situations of space, situation of rhythm, situations of traveling. You understand what I mean? Yes. And the art of dansadwendi is the art of creating situation. How can you create a situation? How can you create a situation that you are the center? How can you create a situation that somebody else is the center? How can you create a situation that nobody noticed you did it? Nobody noticed you did all of it. And people are doing things that you did this and you did that and that and that, only for this situation to happen, they didn't even notice. So all of this is dansadwendi. But dansadwendi is not that you come and you tell people, yes, when you talk to somebody, when you talk to somebody to always be careful that when you talk, you don't do this and you do like that. That is very nice tools, it's very useful, but it's not dansadwendi. You understand what I mean? You can use the tools yourselves, but dansadwendi is not about mixing everything up. So why do I say that? Because then we can work with others. Because if we come with dansadwendi and we start to collaborate with others, we don't get a big confusion in our head, and we don't put a big confusion in their head. Is that clear what I'm saying? You understand what I mean? Yeah. Because we know that dansadwendi is always the artistical project of your own realization now. It's not about knowing something. It's not about telling somebody how things should be. Yes? It's about something that you know because you live it, because it's happening to you. Is that? That's what makes it so interesting. I see you looking like this. So it's trying to understand that if it's not about concept, it means that it's not about, what would I say? It's not about telling people that God exists or that God doesn't exist. We don't care. Do you understand? Is that easier? Yes? It's okay if God exists, it's okay if He doesn't exist. No problem. Just dance. Dance that God exists, and dance that God doesn't exist, you're going to see it's the same. No problem. You understand how this is a way of making a metaphor to... It's very different than coming and saying, yes, because the feminine is something that you are like this, and then this is like this, and then of course it's nice. I'm not criticizing, it's very nice, because if you take a concept and you play with it, of course you can realize things, you can do things, you can even understand things slowly, and then later the concept goes. But that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is creating a situation that doesn't fix anything. And then you can fix things, but it's not that you are fixed. Is that okay? Of course, when it's tango, it's different. When it's gypsy, it's different. Then it's different. But when it's dansadwendi puro or duro, you're not fixing anything. You're just creating situations. Yeah. This is very important because I have a lot of visions about I have a lot of, how would you say, awareness of what's going on in the whole, like this paper that is there, I did it without looking at anything, it's in my head. All this list, I did it of my head. I never looked at anything, who is in Spain, who is in Brussels, who is... I wrote this here from my own memory, yes? Because I have a clear map of who is doing what. I know you have a child, she's Avicii. I know you're in the school, this person. I know you live with Sandra. I know what. You understand? So to end up, the idea is that art is the tissue. Art, like what the child does as soon as he is able to get out of bed, is art. Look at children. They're doing dansa duendi. They're not telling you God is and what's your name, what's your idea. Did you come from Russia or did you come from... They just look at you. Then they move. Did you see how children move? They're just repeating the same movement. They repeat the same movement a lot of times, and then they try it another way, and they don't even notice they're doing that. Huh? So dansa duendi is something children do, and the youngest, the best. So this art is what we do as human beings when nobody stops us. No? But if, imagine somebody would be there and would realize that you're doing something very intelligent as a child, and instead of telling you, stop it, we have to go, they would have time enough to look at what you're doing and understanding that this is interesting and make you see that it is interesting. Yes? Children are very, very interesting, and that's one of the topics of this week, because Maria Jose is doing an incredible work with children, she will tell you about. I've been there in the school, and she's putting the other teachers to do it. The director of the school came to see Raji and me, and came to the show, and all the children are doing meditation in the school. They're all doing dancing. It's very interesting. They're doing the 5 wisdoms in the class, so she will tell. But this to say, art is the tissue of the experience of a relationship that is deep about your body and about others' body.
Once again, please. Can I have this sentence once again?
In French, l'art est le tissu de l'expérience en profonde relation au corps et aux autres. On cherche à éprouver des situations réelles. Ça c'est bon, c'est fini? Ah oui, ça c'est bon, on n'a pas besoin. You're getting tired anyway. So you have the solitary, yes, the solidary, and you have the interdependence. So the interdependence is that also we work with people, and I hope we work with people in science, we work with people in schools, we work with people in hospitals. It's getting time to do that, yes? So this is the third value. The first value, very important, is yourself, because if there's nothing here that makes any sense, what else would you do? No? It doesn't make any sense to go to people if you don't have anything really interesting with yourself. If you're not able to be alone, what can you do with people? You know? And then when you go with people, then what's going on? And that's very nice. And then the third one is that people who really trained in dansa duendi or understand dansa duendi or are starting to create their own art, thanks to dansa duendi, or thanks to a lot of things also, of course. They can get in relationship with other projects, with movies, with theaters, with a lot of things. And that makes the possibility that the synergy creates camps of wisdom. When you go to do a show, there's a camp of wisdom. When you go to rehearse with a lot of people, you're the only one that worked on wisdom, maybe not, maybe sometimes not. But a lot of times, yes. You know, like Stephanie, when she works with the theater, you know, a lot of times she's the only one understanding a lot of things. It's very obvious. Huh? And then you don't tell people you understand things. You're just creating a situation that makes the wisdom possible. Yes? And so this week is to talk about realities, about what's going on with ourselves, what's going on with others, and what's going on in these three possibilities. No? So that's it. And the work, how we could also find the possibility to maybe have ideas about being more organized or more coordination, or maybe asking the universe for a producer, for managers, and how we can find time, how we can find time to take time without losing time. So that's, I hope, the topic. And good night to all of us. And then, Alexandra, I think you're going to explain a little bit about this week, how it's going on.
So, tomorrow, the organizing committee